Uh-oh. Oh!
He knew that was the only place he could walk up, slap an adult male, turn around, close his jacket, and walk back to his seat. Where else?
Steve Harvey has reportedly confronted Will Smith 2 months after he walked up to the stage during the Oscars and slapped the host and comedian Chris Rock. Now that the situation has calmed down, more and more celebrities are coming forward to share their opinions regarding the incident. While many have criticized Will Smith for his irrational behavior,
I'm just here to say that striking another human being is wrong.
Chris Rock is also being criticized for igniting a fire on purpose.
First of all, I seen a man stand up for his wife, which we don't see that much anymore. That made me have hope.
And most of all, Jada Smith's role in the whole incident is also being painted as extremely shady, albeit with some solid reasons. So, how is Steve Harvey looking at this? And how does the future look for Will Smith? Social media users have already criticized the reaction of many celebrities against Will Smith. One user writes, "I'm sorry, but Will Smith didn't shoot, stab, or beat Chris Rock to a bloody pulp. He dished out one single rich man slap. Amy Schumer and Wanda Sykes talking about being traumatized by it is just trivial." Almost every comic in the world at this time has condemned Will Smith's attack on Chris Rock at the Oscars over a joke. The vast majority believe that this was a clear attack on free speech and humor in general, not just on Chris. There hasn't been a single comic who has agreed with Will Smith on this.
I'm good.
And the consequences of his actions are already being felt. Dave Chappelle, a comedian, was also attacked on stage last week for delivering jokes in front of an audience. Regrettably, this appears to be a tendency that will only get worse with time. Others were inspired by Smith's efforts to take legal action against anyone who makes a joke about them while entirely disregarding the law. In the United States of America, free speech is a crucial notion. Violently opposing it must be one of the most serious crimes in this country. During a public engagement at Georgia State University, another comic stepped out to discuss the smack. Steve Harvey, the legendary comic, has been performing stand-up comedy for decades and has surely seen his fair share of hecklers. He was, however, taken aback by Will Smith's instinctive behavior. During this public appearance, Steve Harvey discussed Will Smith and how he would have reacted to the smack. Steve, despite his Christian faith, is not the sort of person who will turn the other cheek. This is what he said. "It was a punk move. I'm a Christian, but I'm really undeveloped. I don't have high-level Christianity. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 2. That's the level of Christianity I can work on. You slap TD Jakes, he'll turn the other cheek. You slap me, if you sit back in your seat, Jada, Will's wife, would have to move out of the way. That's the type of Christian I am. I lost a lot of respect for Will after that." Social media users have been extremely active and vocal regarding this developing situation. Here's what one user wrote. "It's okay for Steve Harvey to protect his family and call Will Smith a punk when he does the same thing to protect his family. Steve, you owe Will an apology. You would have slapped the shit out of Chris if he was talking about your wife." Despite his onstage assault of comic Chris Rock an hour earlier, Will Smith seemed to be at the top of his career as he accepted his Oscar on Sunday. In front of a standing ovation, Smith tearfully defended his actions as those of a father wanting to protect his family from harm. Rock had made a reference to his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith's baldness, despite the fact that she had recently revealed she had alopecia. Backstage, Rock stated that he was fine and that he would not pursue the subject further. Smith was reportedly ordered to leave the theater by the Academy, but he refused. Smith appeared on the dance floor at the Vanity Fair party shortly after his speech, surrounded by well-wishers and clutching the statuette to his bosom. Everything seemed to be forgiven, if not completely forgotten. A week is a long time in show business, and Smith's position has deteriorated significantly in the last 6 days. Celebrity viewers were quick to condemn the actor when the smack appeared on television. Mark Hamill and Rob Reiner were among many who thought Smith should have been arrested, as were Jim Carrey and Judd Apatow. Outrage was expressed by politicians such as Keir Starmer. The judgments of individuals there at the moment of the tragedy began to seep through 2 days later, and they were even more painful. Smith was selfish, according to Joseph Patel, a producer on the Oscar-winning documentary Summer of Soul, who said Smith robbed him and his filmmakers of their moment of triumph. The scenario produced a feeling of absolute rejection in me, remarked Pedro Almodovar, who was seated close to the stage. Under heat for its inactivity, the Academy shifted into high gear. An inquiry that was previously disclosed has been escalated to disciplinary proceedings. 2 of the 3 hosts for the evening proclaimed themselves traumatized. "I'm still triggered," said Amy Schumer, while Wanda Sykes declared that the scene was absolutely sickening. "I physically felt ill." Will Packer, the Oscars show producer, attempted to deflect more criticism on Friday, claiming to Good Morning America that Los Angeles police had instantly labeled the act battery and offered to charge Smith. According to Packer, it was only the victim's decision that prevented this from happening. Chris was dismissive of those options, he stated. "No, I'm fine," he said. No, he said. Packer attributed Rock's conciliatory demeanor with keeping Smith from being expelled from the auditorium by the Academy's leadership. "I said, Chris Rock doesn't want that. I said, Rock has made it clear that he does not want to make a bad situation worse." Some audience members were dissatisfied that Chris Rock did not address the slap in his show. According to other versions, Packer did not ask Rock for his thoughts on Smith being evicted from the theater, but rather on the potential of Smith being detained by the police. Ticket prices for dates on Rock's current comedy tour have risen, although several fans at previous gigs this week expressed disappointment that Rock did not address the slap in his set. Smith has stayed silent on the event since Monday when he apologized publicly for reacting emotionally. His staff is recalibrating their reaction. A variety of choices appear to be viable. Smith, like Sykes and Packer, might come on a talk show to address the event. Albeit, this risk appears to minimize the episode's gravity. A longer-form interview with someone like Oprah Winfrey is more likely to get the actor's approval. Much of Smith's defense, as his acceptance speech indicated, is based on his assertion of tremendous emotional stakes and personal history. He's created a story about a damaged man who is used to being in the spotlight and ultimately crumbles under strain when someone insults his family. This is supported by passages of his deeply intimate book, Will, which revealed the domestic abuse he observed his father commit on his mother, and his own remorse for not intervening. What you have come to understand as Will Smith, the alien-annihilating MC, the bigger-than-life movie star, is largely a construction, he wrote. A carefully crafted and honed character designed to protect myself, to hide myself from the world, to hide the coward. An hour-long TV special in the manner of Winfrey's session with Prince Harry and Meghan would offer scope to better explain this background while also being more high-profile and lucrative. Another option would be for Smith to create the show himself. His biography was released in parallel with a YouTube series called The Best Shape of My Life, which chronicled his 20-pound weight reduction and psychological progress. Confessional broadcasting is nothing new to the actor and his family. Pinkett Smith's famous Facebook program, Red Table Talk, which she co-hosts with her mother, Gammy, and daughter, Willow, has tackled topics such as loss, sexual intimacy, and intestinal health. Will Smith appeared as a guest star in a July 2020 show on infidelity to tackle rumors about the couple's own extramarital affairs and their 4-year separation. All of the Smiths, including Jada and Will's son Jaden, and Trey, Will's son from a prior relationship, have participated in reality programs similar to those popularized by families like the Kardashians. The public's admiration for Smith might be difficult to overcome. Only a slim majority of 1,319 U.S. respondents in a YouGov survey taken earlier this week believed he was wrong to smack Rock. It's also in Hollywood's best interests for Smith to reclaim the popularity he's enjoyed for the past 30 years as a leading man. Films in which he starred have grossed about $6.5 billion, £5 billion worldwide, and his popularity has crossed genders, demographics, nations, and races. The Christian press in the United States, which was impressed by allusions in his speech to being a vessel led by a higher force, has been quite vociferous in its support for the actor during the last week. Christian Broadcast News, CBN, praised Smith's account of Denzel Washington's warning to be careful at your brightest moment. That's when the devil comes for you. as scripturally solid. Such publications in the United States have hailed Washington's encouraging statements and focus on the devil's attempts to bring people down, according to CBN. What are your own thoughts regarding the incident between Chris Rock and Will Smith? Do write them down in the comments below.